Hello, welcome to Melanin and Albinoid Live. I am Lady Abimbola, your host for today. As usual, for those that have been following me, I talk about the gang stalking program. I talk about the racist system and the abuse of the fundamental human right. Okay. Now, today, we'll be going to the very beginning. How racism was established, was created. Then, we're going to be moving forward. This is a new channel. If you go to the intro, you understand certain things about the channel. I don't like to focus on those things, so I just like to move ahead and just, forge ahead with my own determination. But in this channel, I will take you to the roots. Okay? What I'm trying to do is to inform people as best as I can with the information I have to explain the racist system both to the melanin people and to the albinoid people. Okay? But on this side, the melanin who is at the receiving end should know the reason we are at the receiving end. My blog is to inform well enough and educate well enough that we all have our responsibility to know how to act concerning the racist system. So join me today as we dive right into the reason the racist system was created. Join me.
Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate, you should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave
you? Now, welcome back to Melanin and Albinoid Live. I'm still Lady Abimbola. I've not changed. Now, today I'll be taking you back to history. And when I say history, I mean history. We are not doing Bible class today or anything like that, but we can never ever talk about the racist system without going back to the root of what actually provoked such a system. Well, for those of you that have followed me, I speak specifically that the racist system is spiritually backed up. It's not a system that somebody just created. It was spiritually orchestrated and it's manifesting on the physical. But before that, we have to explain the human race. Well, in the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 7, that is creation. Creation, actually, when God created humans, well, the Bible makes us understand He took mud, He formed mud, and He created man out of mud. Okay, He created the man out of mud. He blew into the mud. His spirit, the Spirit of God, was blown into the mud, and the mud became a living soul. That is what the book of Genesis chapter 2 verse 7 says. If you read it in detail, because of time, I'm not going to read it. So, that is established how the melanin people was created. Okay. But here on earth, we have diversity of the skin tone. How come we have some people with melanin skin tone and we have certain people without melanin skin tone? And these particular people that we have depend totally on the melanin to exist. Why is that? Has God done something? Partiality, something is not supposed to be has done? Is God hiding something? No, definitely not. God has created man in his own image and his own likeness. We have different skin tone, different shades. We have people with more melanin than less, and people with less melanin. So why is it that certain races exist and their existence depends on the extermination of the melanin people? I will take you back to the Bible. But now, we started from Genesis. Now, let's go to Revelation, the last book. We started from the first book, creation. Now, let's go to the last book, the judgment book. Okay? The book of Revelation, this I will read because it is actually of utmost importance. Okay? In the book of Genesis, chapter 12, I will start from verse 7. Okay? This was after the situation where the woman wanted to give birth, and the dragon stood before the woman. You can read the whole of Revelation chapter 12, you understand it. Okay, but I'm going to start from verse 7, okay? So, and there was war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, okay? Now, the dragon being referred to is Satan. Okay, and the angels being referred to are the angels he actually deceived in heaven. He deceived quite of the angels in heaven to rebel against him because he planned a coup d'etat against God in heaven, and the coup d'etat failed. So this is what this part is explaining. And the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not. Okay, neither was their place found anymore in heaven. So Satan, the devil, and the fallen angels and the angels that rebelled with him was actually cast out of heaven. Verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that whole serpent called the devil. They call him we always calling people serpent. Okay, we got it here. That old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Okay? Notice, and his angels was cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. And for the accuser of the brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil and the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. The short time he has is in the book of Revelation chapter 22. Okay, we'll make reference to that towards the end. Now, with this verse again, if you want to really get into the situation, go to the book of Revelation. There's a lot to be seen there. But chapter 12 is what I'm referring to now. Now, Satan, the devil, planned a coup d'etat in heaven to overthrow God. Of course, it failed. God is all God by himself. Nobody enthroned him. Nobody can dethrone him. So, automatically, Satan, the devil, the deceiver, failed. And God empowered lesser angels, Michael and Gabriel. Not that they were less angels, they're powerful angels of war also. The warring angels, okay? But compared to Satan, who is the most beautiful, the most, strongest angel. That's why I said lesser angel, okay, than him. So God empowered those ones to throw him out of heaven. They threw him out of heaven with his fallen angels. That means the other angels that actually was that fell for his deception, okay, that was brainwashed by him, okay, that was where the brainwashing started. That was brainwashed by him. They threw all of them out of heaven. When they were thrown out of heaven, where would they throw them? They throw them on earth. Now, because when the Bible speaks, they talk about the present, they talk about the past, the present, and the future. Okay, that's why God, here they talk about the accuser of the brethren and all, because already know it's going to create war and problems on earth. Okay, so came on earth, he said, you heaven rejoice, we've cast down that deceiver, that devil, that deceiver of the whole angels that, wants to overthrow God and everything. Now we have casted him out. Okay. Now the Bible refers to Satan as the dragon. Okay. Now it's no longer that beautiful, handsome angel God created. To God is detestful. Is a dragon. Is a filth. Okay. Now Satan the dragon here on earth, apart from you see the Chinese using dragons for all these kind of things, images they worship, all these kind of things, but we don't find the physical, apart from the fictional dragon in cartoons, which is actually not good, but that's how they infiltrate our mind. Our mind, remember. Okay, so the dragon, Satan, is cast here on earth with his fallen angels. Now, my point is that the fallen angels, the Bible makes us understand that angels can transform into, you remember the story of Abraham and Sarah, when angels came, they went in front of the man that told Sarah she was going to have a child and she laughed. You remember that story? So angels can transform to be like us for a certain period, but the truth of the matter right now is that these fallen angels still reside here on earth. Now, my point is, I'm not making any accusation. I'm just researching. I want the truth. I want to know the truth about the racist system. Why is there so much wickedness against my race? Why are we being assassinated, murdered, humiliated, maltreated, falsely accused, criminalized, raped? We are stripped all of our dignity. Why is there vicious hatred against us? And I believe I'm very close to the truth. I want to know the truth. God is helping me know the truth. So right now, what I found out is the fact that these fallen angels here are on earth. Satan is in command of them and instructing them the destructiveness of the world today. Is it possible? Allegedly, the albinoid are the fallen angels. I'm just saying, I'm not accusing anybody, but I'm not going to talk about all the atrocities today. I'm just going to talk about why the system was established. Now, fast forward. November 15, 2020 marks 135 years of the creation of the racist system. Now, what do I mean? Okay, on Saturday, November 15, 1884 to February 26, 1885, a meeting was held for 104 days. 104 days. A meeting of 104 days. Why was there a meeting for 104 days? Where was it held? It was held at the residence of the Chancellor of the newly created German Empire and Chancellor Otto von Bismarck. This man here, Chancellor Otto von Bismarck, is behind the racist system, the creation of the racist system. When they had a meeting at Berlin, Germany, the meeting actually, the motive of the meeting, they told the whole world, was that the cover up agenda of the meeting was humanitarian towards Africa. Now, how? 1884, they came together, Europeans came together to have an humanitarian towards Africa. Is it not funny? Africa is richer than Europe. Africa has natural resources than Europe. Africa was very far developed than Europe, Africa recorded the first human technology existed in Africa. Europeans did not know anything about technology, about investment, about creating of things ever. Before 1884, the Europeans were just roaming around looking for things to convert for themselves. They were continuously going to war, creating problems all over the world, going to war, harassing people, terrorizing people, and creating all kinds of junk weapons that was not even up to the sophistication of African weapons. When they came with war to Africa, resisted and pushed them away. Africa pushed away the Europeans. We never entertained them around us, and since they came with battle to steal from us, we pushed them, we defeated them because we had a superior weapon, because we have technology, because we have the wealth. We have kings of royalty that had beautiful king crown of gold and diamond on their head, beautiful robes, royalty. We were all royalty in our right in Africa. Even small children wear pearls. They wore pearls. We wear gold as if, I don't think we wear pants of gold, but that was actually how royal. We are the chosen generation, a royal priesthood, an honored nation, a peculiar person, a people that have been called out of darkness to declare the praises of Him who has called us out of darkness. So I can't understand the fact that the cover-up agenda, I use the word cover-up, the cover-up agenda of Chancellor Otto von Bismarck and his co-European leaders is humanitarian towards Africa. How can you, a lesser person that has nothing, you don't have wealth, you don't hold anything apart from terrorizing the world, you offer humanitarian effort to a country that is richer, to a continent richer than you, in natural resources, in talent, in potentials, in technology? I don't get it. But the situation here is that the real agenda was a strategically orchestrated terroristic invasion of Africa. That was the real agenda, but the cover-up agenda was humanitarian. So I had to break that down, that humanitarian is definitely not the mission. Now, let's go back again. The meeting was from the Saturday, November 15th, 1884 to February 26th, 1885. That is precisely 104 days in this meeting. Why do they need so much days to plan a humanitarian meeting? Well, we've established the fact that this is just a cock and bull story. It is not an humanitarian meeting, but a strategically orchestrated terroristic invasion of Africa. So 104 days of planned, well orchestrated and planned invasion. What went on in the meeting they had in Berlin, Germany, presided by the Chancellor of the newly created German Empire, Chancellor Otto von Bismarck? What really happened? Most of the people there actually they took the details of the secret of the meeting to their grave. While I will now explain what I feel the details of the meeting was about based on the outcome of the meeting that was held in Berlin, Germany in 1884. This is my own idea of what actually the discussion, when the agenda went based on the outcome of the meeting. But first of all, I will want to clarify that Switzerland actually didn't want to have any part of it. Switzerland, who gained independence from the Roman Empire in 1648, they decided to maintain a strong policy of armed neutrality. They refused to join the United Nations until 2002. Switzerland was the birthplace of the Red Cross, the fourth and oldest humanitarian organization, a founding member of European Free Trade Association, but notably not a part of the European Union, the European Economic Area, European Zone. However, it participated in the Schengen area, the European single market, through bilateral treaties. Switzerland refused to be part of the meeting on Saturday, November 15, 1884. Now, United States also refused to be part of that meeting. Remember, they've already captured the American Indians and they've assassinated all the American Indians. So the United States actually located in North America, you know that. First, the third most largest country in the world, which later became 13th British colonies established along the East Coast. Dispute over taxation and political representation were British, which led to the American Revolutionary War in 1775 to 1783, which later established independence in the late 18th century. So they refused to be part of the meeting in Berlin in 1884. Now, the third country was Ottoman Empire, controlled much of Southeast Europe, West Asia, and North Africa between 14th and the 20th century. But they actually refused, to be part of this meeting. Those are the three countries that refused to be part of this meeting in Berlin, Germany. Now, let's go to the agenda of the meeting. What I feel went on in the meeting based on the outcome of the meeting. Now, the first on the list, that was where in the meeting they have to, because of the nature, the depth of the wickedness that will be inflicted on Africa. They intend to go to battle, to war with Africa, but Africa was not aware they were coming to war. Now, let me rewind a little bit. After the Europeans attacked Africa several times and we defeated them, we resisted it, even queens came up, like Queen Amina of Zaria and so many other queens, the one in Madagascar and the Ethiopian queen, they came up and fought against the Europeans and we defeated them. That is not written in history. That's why I said in my blog, so many things on my blog you will not find in history book or in the news. You understand? Because we resisted and we defeated, we killed the Europeans and we resisted them and make them stay away from our continent. But they now came back humble as if they want to be friends with us. So when they came back humble, that they're poor, they don't have anything. They just want to know how we do things. Okay, we are God's people. We are the chosen generation. We are the royal priesthood. We taught them. That is actually when they saw a lot of things going on in Africa. The technology marveled them. What we were doing in Africa. This is the same people that was chased out of Israel and relocated to Africa. Look at what they've actually done. So this is actually why they had this closed door meeting for 104 days. That this is not a generation you can do. This is not a group of people you can just go and conquer. This is people that left Egypt out of slavery. God was with them in the desert until they got to the promised land. When they got to the promised land, we chased them out of Israel. The Roman Empire chased them out of the Roman army, chased them out of Israel. But when we chased out of Israel, wherever we went, we multiplied, we grew, we produced. We're always dominating. Anything we touch touches turns to gold. So now they didn't come back to learn from us. They actually came to dominate us. So, but they know this is not going to be an easy task. Now, if you read the Bible, if you're the type that read the Bible, if you read the story of Apostle Paul, during his sojourn in life, and he was doing so many things, helping people, building churches and things like that. There were people that were so provoked by his desire to God and how he converted from Christian killers to become now an ambassador of Christ. So what they did is that they placed a curse upon themselves that until they see Apostle Paul die, they will not retreat. So the same thing I believe that happened in Berlin, Germany. They formed a secret society, brotherhood, where they placed a curse on themselves and they begin to dissect Africa. Where the French will have, where the Germans will have, where the Portuguese will have, where the Spanish will have, where the British will have. They were dissecting a continent, and we were not even aware that there was a war being planned against us. We were God's people, we were protected, we were helped, but there's certain war and you need to be really prepared. There are certain situation challenges that come your way. Even if you're innocent, God will see you through. But there are certain wars that you need to fast and pray and begin to cast and bind. So that was the situation in Africa. Africa did not know we're going to be under attack. So colonization, I don't like to use the word colonization. Africa was never colonized by the Europeans or anybody. Africa was invaded by the Europeans. And that's why they can never tell the truth in the history book. Because the history book they've written makes themselves look important and, they're good, they terrorized Africa, and we were going in Africa, boom, 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 with bamboo, we don't have clothes. No, we will get to that. We were royalty. We wore royal robes. We wore diamonds, pearls, gold, silver. We were the original. We wore the best. So when they placed a curse upon themselves on the mission to invade Africa, that is to form a brotherhood of secrecy, that nobody should tell the details of what is going to happen in what is happening behind closed door in Berlin, in Germany. The cover-up agenda was humanitarian, remember? But the real agenda is strategically orchestrated terroristic invasion. So they placed a curse on themselves to go to Africa to curse God's people. Because when you see somebody, if you watch attack, when somebody they want to destroy you, first of all, they begin a slander campaign. Why they try to slander your character is because they want you to, first of all, lose credibility in yourself and with others. They slander your character, they call you all kinds, they stigmatize your character, and they blackball you in the society. So the first thing they need to do is to curse God's people. You remember the story of Balaam and Balak. Balaam and Balak, it was told that, you know what, these people, go and curse them for me. I can't curse the Israelite. I can't curse God's people. These people are blessed, and because they are blessed, nobody can curse them. But one thing I can assure you is that since nobody can curse them as God's people, we can the only thing we can do is to make them curse themselves. And how do you make people curse themselves? If you cannot curse them, if witches cannot curse them, if secret society cannot curse them, if warlord cannot curse them, if fallen angels cannot curse them, if Satan himself cannot curse them, if demons in the hell cannot curse them, then how can we make them curse themselves? We have to turn their hearts away from their Creator. So we break the shield of protection around them. That is the reason they shame, they slander our character, they criticize us continuously, they humiliate us, they criminalize us, they call us prostitutes, they call us criminals, they call us assassins, they call us all kind of degrading name, because they need to wound us enough for us to turn away from our Creator. But that's not just all the slander campaign. They did far more than that. Now, the number one on the agenda in the meeting in Berlin, Germany, is to curse God's people or make them curse themselves. Okay? Now, the second one is to establish a racist system through a gang stalking program. Adolf Hitler was not the one that created the gang stalking program. Gang stalking program started from heaven, when Satan the devil gang stalked God and envied his position. And what he did, he began to mind control the other angels in heaven to rebel against God. You see, mind control. It's from heaven it started. So when they rebel against God, what happened is that they take their heart, the fallen angels it took the fallen angels' heart away from God, and they begin to target the throne of God, the gangster God. So establishing a racist system is that now this is God's own people. We cannot defeat them ordinarily because they are divinely protected. Heaven himself backs them up. Anything they touch turns to gold. But we want what they have. You remember the story of Cain and Abel? The brother cheated his own brother out of his inheritance because his own ways were evil, but his brother's is righteous. The brother gave the best to God. He worshipped God. He gave time to God. But he didn't want to do all those things. But he wanted the benefit of the effort, the sacrifice the brother was actually giving. He killed his brother. So when they came to Africa, they were not coming to make friends with us. They were not coming to dialogue with us. They were not coming to forget this bullcrap humanitarian agenda. They were coming to kill us. They were coming to destroy us. They were coming to assassinate us. They were coming to humiliate. They have an agenda of this total destruction without mercy. An agenda with total destruction without mercy. Total. 100%. In fact, 1,000% destruction without mercy. So when they came upon Africans, we were not prepared for war. We were going about our business. We were going about being productive. We were going about building technology. We were going about training our children. We have educated Africans. We have children that spoke well, that royalty. We have children that are well behaved, far well behaved than them. We have peace in Africa. We have tranquility in Africa. We have security in Africa. Because we are God's people. But when they came, they turned our lives upside down. Now, the third point on their agenda in the meeting in Berlin on the 15th of 1884 was creation of the human zoo. That is actually the height of their wickedness. Now, when they came to Africa, they started the first attack, okay? just because of time, I will not tell you, because they were hiding around, they surrounded, because each of them have now taken a portion where they will take. So they now surrounded that portion, and from there, that was where they started launching the attack. So they started the demoralization to demoralize melanin people in Africa. Humiliation and stigmatization. So how did they start this demoralization? When they now overpowered Africa, they started to rape the African women. They raped women that knew men. They raped women that was married. They raped children. They raped teenage. They raped everything called female in Africa. Demoralization. And after rape, they humiliate the African men. They emasculated them to total demoralization. And when this was done, it brought so much fear and panic. Because we were caught unaware. We were not prepared for a war. We just these people are they joking? This is the same people that attacked us. We resisted, we conquered them, and they came back. They were coming as friends. We helped them. We gave them food. We gave them money. We gave them gold. We gave them silver. What have we done to actually merit this kind of attack? It's from the spiritual realm. If you go to the book of Revelation, I read before, chapter 12, from verse 7, but read from verse 1. Then you know the story of the women that was about to give birth. The dragon, Satan, stood before the woman to devour the child. It's a spiritual attack on the melanin people, God's own people. So they started the demoralization, humiliation. They tore our clothes. We had beautiful robes in Africa. They tore our clothes and made us go naked. Everything you see on the internet with Africans, you see them with spears. You see, let me hold this. You see Africans, you see them, they're holding spears. They have something on their head and they zoom, 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 zoom. That is not how we are. They actually made us dress like that for photos, drama. They turned Africa to Hollywood. Hollywood started in Africa. We were not like that. They stripped us of our clothes.
You don't kidnap human beings. That's how you treat animals. You don't put human beings in shackles. That's what you do to animals. You don't beat them and burn them at the stakes. That's how you treat animals. You don't put human beings on no auction block. That's what you do to animals. You don't beat human beings with whips. That's what you do to animals. So the goal of the slave master was to treat us as less than what we really were until we began to believe that we actually were that. It is a scientific fact that if I can put it in your mind in the form of a thought, that all thoughts become words, all words become actions, all actions become habits, and all habits form your character, and your character dictates your destiny or your future. So if you've got the wrong original thought in your mind, then the future don't look too good.
Of every clothing we have to make us good, that is total humiliation, total demoralization. And we had spears and all these photos. I will get to that. I don't want to jump to that. So when that happened, they stripped us off. We were walking naked. Even the women that was going through their menstrual period, their monthly period, they were shamed. If you catch infection in the process, they don't care. You can use leaf to cover yourself. That's how much they demoralized the Africans. So when they started penetrating they started terroristic propaganda globally that we are actually animals and not humans. But how come you don't have enough clothes like we do, enough gold, silver, diamond, and all those things that we do? You made us as royalty, dressed beautifully with royal robes, beautiful robes and crown of our kings and queen, and you came, you stripped us of all these royalties, all those things, and you say we look like animals? That is the delusionment. They came prepared. They already demonized. When the Europeans came to invade Africa, they didn't colonize Africa. Please remove colonization. When they invaded Africa, they came to demonize Africa. It was a demonization mission. It was not colonization. When they started a terroristic propaganda, they started infiltrating religion miseducation. They now stripped away everything in the Bible that is superior, like Jesus' image, superior prophets and things like that, and placing their own image. That alone is against what the book of Revelation said. Don't hack to the Bible, don't take from me. They now brought the face, the beautiful melanin face of Jesus with beautiful hair like mine. They now turned it to be albinoid. Jesus is not an angel. He's definitely not a fallen angel. So why do you go that far to establish superiority? Assassination, genocide of the melanin people, manipulation of the truth, miseducation, a total demoralization. Why was all that effort made for just to steal from a race? Then they became a sexual predator for the melanin women. They took melanin women from Africa. They began to take them to Europe to pimp religious women. The melanin women, God's women, we're religious, we're Hebrew, we serve God, we worship God, we praise God, we are purified beings. But still yet, they took so many melanin women away to Europe, England, France, Ireland, I mean all over the place to pimp them. Because there was this demonic obsession till today of the melanin women. And that's why you see the melanin men must be killed. That is why the melanin men are hated. The melanin men are being killed because of the melanin women. They have an obsession for the melanin women. A sexual obsession. A sexual perversion for the melanin women. Because we are actually, the melanin men are the melanin seed carrier to continue the generation of Jesus Christ. But we are the ones that incubate that seed. So they need our own womb to incubate the seed of allegedly fallen angels that lives amongst us. They need to produce. Angels cannot produce. Angels cannot produce. So they need actually to produce. So by mixing with humans, they are now using actually all that comes with a human being. So the melanin women are target of the racist system in order to incubate a seed we were not created to incubate. Then the melanin seed carrier, who are the melanin men, must be exterminated, demoralized, exterminated, reduced to nothing, confused, frustrated, and let them fall into depression. The one that can, we throw them in jail. We have the highest of melanin children that has been killed in jail without trial, innocent. Any excuse, even if you don't do anything, they will criminalize you. Sarah, who is called Saji Batman, was born 1789 and died 25 or 26 years later. this woman in the 19th century, after the invasion has been well implemented, invasion of Africa has been well implemented by the Europeans. In the 19th century, they abducted her to Europe and exhibited her in a freak show. This is a decent married woman, but this woman, Sir James Batman, she was actually married. Her husband was assassinated. Guess by who? I don't know. You can guess. Her parents was assassinated. Her husband was assassinated. Her child was killed. Now she is alone. Gang stalking program. She had butts so big, but this same butt that they humiliated her for, somebody else makes a lot of money with the same butt. Now, they exhibited her as a freak show attraction under the name Utent Venus. That is the obsession. They see us as sexual gods. When they see the melanin women, they don't see us even to be loved. They see us as sexual gods, where they can practice their perversion, their sexual perversion, their sexual sickness, their sexual madness. But it's not just perversion I would mention here, because you have to understand the power of sex itself. I did a video some time ago because I'm always continuously under online bullying, okay? They attack my blog, they attack my YouTube channel, and this is a new channel right now. So I'm always under continuous attack. I made a video, maybe the video is still exists or not, otherwise I will check and maybe I'll make another one. Sex itself is a very powerful weapon, spiritually speaking. Because if you look at the Bible says that two that is joined together, even with a prostitute, is one. And they said prostitute and witchcraft is the same thing. So anybody that is interlocked in sexual activities with someone else, you are actually sharing the spirit of that person. That's why you see, they try to make you vulnerable, to make us lack, to put us in position of vulnerability where we can be sexually exploited. Because the reason is they need to destroy this womb, physically or spiritually. So anything that comes out of this womb will be defiled. So they pimped her out as Utent Venus. She was pimped out in the whole of Europe as a sex slave. Starting from England to Ireland to Germany, all over the place till she got to Paris, where she died at a young age of 25, 26. They sexualized her, they pimped her out, that she stays on the stage. They taught her, she was butt naked. They taught her vagina, her personal areas. They humiliated her, touched her breast, touched her vagina, touched anything in her. And after the show, they still sexually molested her. There are so many of them. So many of them, of the Melanin women that was taken to Europe, and they were pimped out by the Europeans. Used after they sexually molested us in Africa, abused us, and they destroyed us. But they still took some to continue the sexual molestation. This is not just about wealth. Though they must take away the wealth from us, not to be potent enough to fight back. But the truth is more spiritual. Then the 19th century again, a pygmy by the name of Otter Benga. Otter Benga was born 1883. You know, between 1883 and 19, he died about 30 years later, whatever. Because also, he was taken at the age of 25 to away. He was abducted to Europe. He was a pygmy in Congo, in the Federal Republic of Congo. The Federal Republic of Congo was under the French demonization. I won't use colonization. Was invaded by the French. And when they took him to Europe, they took him all over the place. They created this human zoo. Human zoo where they put Africans, the melanin people, in a zoo like animals and butt naked. And people are looking, the Europeans, they pay money to look at us as animals. These are people, chosen generation, royal priesthood, holy nation, the people with royal robes, with gold, with diamonds, with crown on our head, were stripped naked. The traumatic experience was the one that demoralized most melanin people. So the Europeans going around and saying, oh, we went to Africa, we colonized, we invaded. It didn't go that way. The traumatic invasion, the trauma suffered by the melanin people was the one that sedated the melanin people.